What is up, guys? Let's let's waste no time. Let's jump in right into Shonen Jump Sunday. And I gotta say, man, despite One Piece taking on break, I would say unfortunately so, but at the same time, I'm glad that Oda is getting the time off he deserves. Letting these mangaka take these breaks to get the time to recover. They're not killing themselves. But despite, like I said, despite Oda taking a break, I would say the magazine definitely delivered, or I would say from what I've read. Both Tabata and Horikoshi went crazy this week. Very strong chapters from the two of them. I guess we'll start with Black Clover. I gotta say, man, like I said, really strong chapter. I think what what I really want to take away is how great the art, like Tabata's art, this chapter was on point. And I gotta say, I've really been recently enjoying this new arc. I know a lot of people are upset at the fact that just as Wano's ending, we're getting another like very heavily Japan inspired based arc. But I'll let you in a little secret. Most mangaka are Japanese. I know, shocker. So it's not too crazy or wild of them to want to show a little bit of a nationality or national spirit by representing their homeland in their artwork and in their manga. But like I said, I think it's been despite the haters, I think it was a very strong arc. Nice little bit of world building. I really enjoy how magic is kind of, it's a different interpretation of magic in this region. You with Yoryoku also using ki, and I think it really adds like spice and seasoning to the, how more we're making a meal here, not a manga. But no, it really adds flavor to the world. It makes sense that different regions, different people, interpret it. The functions of a natural system like that, a reoccurring system in nature like differently, and it makes the world feel alive, that much more alive. And it's cool to see how these people, or from the land of the sun, use magic in different ways. But and we can kind of see how Yami incorporates this very Yoriku in his normal fighting style. We just didn't know what to call it. And I gotta say, like at first I didn't know how I feel that we're getting, a Yami based backstory reveal, because I thought for the most part we knew Yami, we know what he's about, we know his story, the type of character he is. But no, there's this little bit of backstory reveal. This chapter really expanded his character, really makes him a more multifaceted character. It's very interesting. Kind of adds like a little bit of a tragic undertone to his story, and because obviously, while it's becoming obvious that he probably did massacre his clan, I don't think it's as black and white as his sister is making it out to me. Essentially, I mean, we just as we saw this chapter, he was raised by an abusive father, or at the very least, not a stellar father, not a prime example of fatherhood that he is. Um, but like obviously, like it could be even the backstory could go even deeper than that, and it's very interesting because I think we're gonna run into. He might subvert the expectation Tabata, but I definitely think we're going into a little bit of a Itachi situation. Because it certainly feels like we got hints of it this chapter. Obviously his clan's not very happy with the position that especially his father, they're not very happy with the position that the clan's in right now. Just guarding an outpost like in the middle of nowhere, and as he calls it, the bums, in the middle of bum nowhere. But so we might have had a little bit of a, like I said, Uchiha clan situation where probably the clan was looking to revolt, or start a rebellion against the main lords of the land, and become one, with that blood demon lord, I think it was called. I forgot the exact term, but essentially his father was trying to make Yami a really a great warrior, and making him, I'm pretty sure, the focal point of the rebellion. Kind of like how Itachi was, and that might be the reason why Yami ended up, um, you know, killing his clan just in order to spare the nation or the land in itself from further tragedy. And I think in another parallel to Itachi, he probably never explained the situation to his sibling, to his sister, just because I bet he probably felt that he didn't deserve the forgiveness, and so he just decided to to run away, head out and move on and find a different homeland or a different home, just to make a life out of himself, where he wouldn't be judged. And I think it really, like I said, great way of expanding upon the character, because I think that could add a little bit of a relation as to why Yami has the tendency to take in so many strays in his squad. A lot of young people that aren't really given the opportunity to really get their story. Misunderstood people, like most of his clan is people that were really shunned by normal society in the Clover Kingdom. And I'm pretty sure it's a similar situation as to how he was ostracized after killing his clan, and probably by choice, he didn't get a chance to explain, so he no longer had a home, in his homeland. But no, very very solid chapter, and that I'm really excited to see this fight between Asta and Yami's sister. Great, like I said, stellar artwork from Tabata. I really like the Leave It to Black Clover to have these amazing transformations, cool looking armor and stuff. It really reminds me of like old shonen, stuff like Saint Seiya with the ornate armors and or several transformations. And I'm curious to see how much Asta has grown in this little training arc he's had, if he's grown any, or like and what new moves he's gonna bust out in order to overcome this challenge. I guess we'll get what's Well, now it's a good point to move on to my hero. Again, very 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 strong chapter. The highlight to me again would be the art. Oh God, Horikoshi has this amazing. Been killing it with the art recently, honestly. Spinner looking great. We get the new revelation of his of one of the quirks, or another quirk besides the gigantification, that All for One gave him, which was kind of like arming up his scales, or using his scales to like create blades. And, I think it ends up looking for a very monstrous transformation. And there's definitely a little bit of a tragedy there, because despite being, in my opinion, he was the most underdeveloped League of Villains villain, essentially. So it's great that he's finally getting some time to shine. But despite that, I always thought he was the most human out of the League of Villains. Essentially, even despite his mutation, or looking the most quote unquote monstrous out of them all. Looking like a Ninja Turtle. Nah, jokes. But now, like I said, I definitely think he's been the most human. And we even get a little bit of an example. For example, that's why so many of the Meta Liberation new recruits look up to him, because I think they can relate or resonate with his humanity, despite his form. Which is tragic that he ended up more monstrous, or actually becoming a monster, than compared to what he normally was, for the sake of power, really being taken advantage from by All for One, using his friendship with Shigaraki as a way to coerce him to get more power, and basically being manipulated like a pawn, All for One things. But no, and it's it's a very strong parallel, and even crazier work, like adding to the fact that he's the most human out of all the League of Villains. Even getting the League of Legends getting the name drop this chapter, revealed that both Shigaraki and Spinner played it. And it's just crazy what the amount of characterization that gets, or the amount of character that gets added to both Shigaraki and Spinner from just that one panel. For example, it's very human that he plays League of Legends. I wonder if Horikoshi's a League of Legends fan himself, or if he's played the game. But yeah, I feel like that's a great way to get readers to further empathize with Spinner, and kind of use themselves to characterize on Spinner just by playing that game. And going off on what Shigaraki, it's revealed that he played the game, but he only played it solo. in the single player mode, which is like really adds a lot of depth to his character. Like it really explains, makes sense for who he is. It shows that he felt that he never had any teammates or any friends to play League of Legends with, because as some of you might not know, but I'm pretty sure most of you do. League of Legends is a very heavily team based player, like multiplayer game, where if you're not really communicating with your team correctly, if you're not making these team plays, you won't be able to get too far into the game. Like I think there's a very high ceiling that you have to break through, and a lot of it getting far along into the ranks actually depends on how good of a team player you can be. Not that I know too much of it, I only casually dabbled in it, and it's despite it, like I said, humanizing these characters. A lot of people that that play League of Legends, could be what you consider the opposite of human. Those lobbies get pretty wild. But yeah, like I said, very interesting that or very on character to for Shigaraki to play that game alone. Feeling playing solo, feeling like he has no friends, or having to do everything himself, which is a reflection of his character. A very isolated character, and I would say that was all for one, shaping him, taking advantage of a broken kid. Really, that's all he was. But the further tragedy in this is that and again, amazing artwork and amazing paneling by Horikoshi. That one panel where Shoji is about to strike a spinner. And Shoji's another character that I would say was one of the most underdeveloped characters in Class A. So it's great to see him finally get some time to shine, in a very powerful way. Because I feel like these recent chapters especially have been tackling very heavy themes, themes of racism, profiling, people, hurt people being taking that anger and basically taking it out on other people. Like, I wouldn't say rightfully so, but they felt like they feel justified in their anger and their lashing out. They've endured so much pain from normal society that they now wish to inflict that same pain upon others or upon society. Without even thinking about like the cycle of hatred that's gonna be created through this. Like Shoji says, Spinner, you're gonna set us back 30 years because you're just propagating that stereotype of heteromorphs being violent, not being human. And like I said, very very heavy themes that Horikoshi's tackling, and I'd say doing a very good job at it, because Shoji decides to, one of those people, heteromorph that also came from the city, not from the village, from the outskirts, deciding to take his pain and channel it into a good way. Decided to put a good out there, giving good out back from the couple of good memories that he has. He knows that not everybody's to blame for the abuse and the terrible, I would say racism almost that they've, because it is a form of racism, because it's these people, despite being humans or metahumans, whatever you want to define the My Hero Academia people as, they're still people, and they get discriminated against for having these mutations or looking weird, despite and I love this line from the manga, they're human too. These are just their quirks, their their own little individuality that makes them them, and to get persecuted for that, it's very tragic. And I think what really adds to the element of that tragic sense, is that Spinner, somebody, a heteromorph himself, in his berserk state, while he's fighting Shoji, he Shoji does this attack where his limbs spread out, and he calls it gross, he calls it ugly, and disgusting. He's basically judging others for their looks the same way that he was. And I definitely think that's purposely done on Horikoshi's part. And it's sad to see it. Yeah, like that. He's come so, or he's fallen down so far from where he initially stood. You know, that he can call his a fellow heteromorph ugly and judge him based on his quirk. But yeah, can't wait to see where for both these stories go. Uh, I think that would cover it. Unfortunately, I'm not reading anything else. This is the second week that Hunter x Hunter dropped the chapter. So despite I saw the Twitter announcements. Despite knowing that Hunter x Hunter is at least scheduled for 10 chapters, to be dropped, I just kind of wanted to see for myself, see it actually released weekly. But I just haven't fully caught up. I'll be sure to catch up by the end of hopefully next week, so that way I can start reviewing Hunter x Hunter chapters too, because I'm actually very excited. I read a little bit ahead of where the anime stopped. Great anime, but I also think the manga is strong, and I definitely think Dark Continent arc has the potential to be the greatest arc in Hunter x Hunter. So I'm very excited what these last chapters I missed have really brought to the table. These and I can't wait to see what other Nen ideas or Nen abilities could come through. If you have any other manga though that you would recommend, for example, I'm already reading Spy Family and Kaiju number 8. I'm just not fully caught up with them, just because I like saving like a nice little bunch of chapters on both of them so that I can eventually binge read. But I'll probably catch up, so that way, whenever, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but it's good that these authors get the time to work on their series. But they do release bi-weekly, and so they don't get dropped as often as the regular magazine chapters. But whenever they do drop, new chapters drop, I'll try to review them too. But if you have any other manga recommendations, for example, I hear MASH was very good. I'm looking forward to reading Jujutsu Kaisen. I just haven't started on it because I definitely want to see the Shibuya incident arc animated first. I don't know what's gonna go on in that arc. No spoilers, please. It's been hyped up to an insane amount by friends of mine and just the overall community. And so I know there's something's going on in that arc, and I'm very excited. I feel like seeing it animated as a first impression would leave a stronger lasting impression. Because or for me personally, I definitely think anime, with the soundtrack, with the with the nice smooth mappa animation, can definitely leave a deeper footprint in your mind, and just so you can memorize these scenes, or basically they become a core memory. So I definitely want to see it animated first. But afterwards, after season 2 drops, which is just right around the corner, it feels like to me, I'll go ahead and actually catch up and read the manga. I've already read the manga only in material that the anime already covered. So I really like the art. It took me a while to get used to, not gonna lie, but it's grown on me. And overall, I'm excited to eventually read the manga, but I'm saving myself for the anime for now. But if you have any other manga recommendations, leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to check them out whenever I have the spare time to do so. Or if also feel free to comment if you have any other opinions on My Hero and Black Clover, or just on the state of Jump as it is right now. Even if you disagree with me, if you think these chapters were terrible, I don't know how you could think that, but leave your opinion on the comments. Or you just want to have a nice discussion in the comments. I love anime discourse or manga discourse. So be sure to comment, and if you help me, it will help me out if you subscribe and especially if you like to see more reviews like these from me. But other than that, I hope you all have a blessed day. Remember, enjoy your manga, and I'll catch y'all next week, hopefully. See ya.